Nancy Mace, as I'm sure you're aware, we've talked about it a lot, is obsessed with the definition of woman and with monitoring bathrooms and being on the bathroom patrol and taking off your belt and taking down your pants and making sure that you have the right genitals and making sure that you didn't bring in a boy when it's a girl, whatever. Or I guess vice versa, mostly. Girl when it's a boy. And she brought that to Mayor Bowser, the DC mayor. And I just loved the response. So I'll show you some of the backstory, but yeah, you can see some of the B-roll there where she's going outside of bathrooms when she sees like a man bathroom and a men bathroom, women bathroom. She'll take a poster, she'll take a photo. That's a crazy photo. With it, and she'll be like, yeah, hold the line, keep men, women, get it. And she's very proud of herself, to which most of the world goes, what is even this problem you're talking about? Never heard of it. Mayor Bowser had a great response to her. What is a woman? Question.
So Mayor Bowser, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. You actually...
Yes. I like that. Because, I mean, some of you, if you're just coming across politics, you're gonna be like, what even does that mean? And why do I never hear what is a man? Really think about that. Why don't they ever ask, what is a man? You're leaving us out. What the hell? What the hell happened to the men?
What the hell happened to
the men? And the backstory is because of trans people. Mace believes trans people, I guess, don't exist, is her argument. And so she wants the response to be, which is a part of the correct response, which is an adult female human being, the definition of a woman. And then when I explain to people, I say, in addition to people who have socially or medically transitioned, because I acknowledge that trans people exist. So it's just sort of like, cool. And then there's complexities in like, hey, let's say you just start transitioning and you're going to play in a pro sport or something, and then you'll have restrictions. There'll be all these different things. Great. And we can be reasonable. But I really do ask MAGA, is your ultimate goal, and do you find this to be reasonable and level-headed, that just no one will acknowledge the existence or presence of trans women? That doesn't sound reasonable to me. But while I've given a clear answer I just gave to you, adult female human beings and people who have medically or socially transitioned, Nancy Mace does catch some people. Our friend and colleague Tim Waltz, longtime friend, had this moment with Mace.
1990.
Okay. What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
That.
What
Okay.
what do you want me to say? This is
I want you to say that a woman like me is an adult human female, that men can't become women. You guys are the party of violence, and you're the party erasing women. You don't respect us. You're a bigot. You're a misogynist. You're a sex...
It feels a little hyperbolic. Like, what is... I don't even know what there's... Because they try to get all hardcore definitional. It's like, we all understand you have people born biologically female, women. Those are women, right? And you also have people who in every way that we would socially acknowledge are going to be women. And most decent people go, cool, great. And then does that kind of complicate if you're trying to get a simple definition? Yeah, it does kind of complicate it. But I just gave you, I think, a pretty simple one. But do you... with any of the issues that you want to talk about that maybe are more complex, that are downstream conversations from what you're bringing up, fine. And let's be level-headed human beings. But just asserting your end goal is that all of us are going to go around and just be like, I've never ever engaged with a trans woman. And you're engaged with someone who in every single way you could yourself observe unless you got real creepy like Nancy Mace. You treat like a woman, but you're like, no, man. Even when that's not even what your intuition says. It's not productive. It's not decent. And it doesn't address what she would say her concerns are. If you have a concern about sports, let's talk about sports. But the definitional thing, she just likes as a trap. Why people like Tim Waltz, though, don't have a prepared answer, I don't know. Because if you're talking with Nancy, just get ready. Just get ready. So that's why I like this.
So Mayor Bowser, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good.
It kind of silenced her. That was good. I think Tim Waltz, because of his vibe, everyone needs to pick what their fun response is. Because it's not fun to go, the definition I give you. But it would be fun to go, if you're Tim Waltz, what is a woman? My wife, and she is more of a woman in her fingernail than you are in your whole body, Nancy. Like, pick something that's aggressive. I like Mayor Bowser. Are you a woman? And then Nancy kind of got flipped up because she's so used to people going, why are you asking that? And she's like, yeah, I so am, which is perfect. Really good. Now here's another example. So beautiful. This is just so productive. Good job. We're being adults, Nancy.
Define what a woman is.
A woman is a person who says she is. And let me just tell you one story about this, because when I was a child...
No, you're not going to tell me a story. We're not doing that right now. It's not story time.
Yeah, it is story time, because when I was a child, I was
No, it's not. I'm going to reclaim my time. Be quiet. I'm going to reclaim my time right now. Biological women are real women. A guy born as a man who wants to pretend to be a woman and put him and his big Jim and the twins in the locker room with underage girls, or his little Jim and twins, by the way, is disgusting. I have a daughter. She turned 14 last year. I took her to a store called Aerie for her birthday. We went shopping for an hour in downtown Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, now you're doing story time, damn it. It's too long. I can't keep track. We get it. And all those specifics we've addressed. It's just, I wish we would have more clarity, Jaden. Like this man.
Mr. President, I want to say, first of all, happy Women's Month. You do so much for women by, first of all, keeping men out of women's sports, and you platform so many...
That was an easy one. That was crazy.
You platform so many great women, like your Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. You also have Caroline Levitt doing a great job as press secretary. Now Alina will be joining as well. Since Democrats seem to struggle answering this question, I wanted to ask you, what is a woman, and why is it important that we understand the difference between men and women?
Well, it's sort of easy to answer for me, because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She can...
Unless you're too old or infertile, then you're not a woman.
She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much...
Sorry, wait, let me start this from the beginning. I love the king of the movement who says, you have to define it concisely, goes, they can have a baby under certain circumstances.
Democrats seem to struggle answering this question. I wanted to ask you, what is a woman, and why is it important that we understand the difference between men and women?
Well, it's sort of easy to answer for me, because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man, I've always found. A woman is a person that doesn't give a man even a chance of success. And a woman's a person...
We've watched this like 5 times already on the show, but every time he gets to that far, it cracks me up. A woman really F's up your chances at a good life. It's like, what? Where's this headed? A woman never wants to touch you beyond holding hands.
That in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports.
The leagues are ready. I was about to sing it. That's what you heard there, and I thought that would be weird. The leagues already have the autonomy to make the restrictions they need to ensure fairness based on the specific sports. Turning this into the focus of our entire national discourse is ridiculous. And the demonization of people who already get demonized so much in furtherance of no real goal other than Trump admitted political outcomes. He said, don't bring up the trans thing until right before the election, then bring it up, but don't do anything on it. And I mean, if we go through, it's so hard not to address the arguments since Nancy Mace, they're bumping around in my head. But like, if you force someone who really, not me saying, which this is the caricature they do, not me who obviously is like so manly in every way that people would not, I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, look at how much hair I have on my chest.
I'm gonna come.
Thank you, Cole. Weird for you to say that, but I mean, if a big, massive, burly man like me just went, I'm a woman, and walked to the bathroom, that would make people uncomfortable. That would be weird. That would be bad. Okay, because of this look, right? I mean, you don't bring these straps into a woman's bathroom. You don't bring this chest hair into a woman's bathroom. But people who actually are trans, right? If you force them into men's bathroom, if trans women into men's bathroom, that increases the likelihood that they'll be harassed or assaulted. But them going into women's restrooms doesn't increase the likelihood that the other women will be harassed or assaulted. So how about we just do the decent, reasonable thing and be normal and stop asking about everyone's genitals. Speaking of genitals, Candace Owens, let me clarify her lawsuit with Brigitte Macron. This is in the same culture war. She's gotten all these views off of becoming Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron, the French president's wife. There she is. Candace did this whole long series about how Brigitte Macron was really born a man and then like went on this whole lifelong journey to switch identities with people so that she could be Brigitte Macron. And then Emmanuel Macron is loving it and Brigitte still has a penis and it's just this whole thing. And she got sued. Makes sense. Because she'd been perpetuating what they're claiming is defamatory statements about the Macrons. And now it looks like this lawsuit's about to go for Candace Owens. This is background though. Just keep this clip in your mind because I have an update.
I think they're banking on us dismissing it. I think one of two options.
What does that mean?
You can at first file to dismiss the case because you're going, hi, we have the First Amendment right. This is crazy. It's coming from Paris. I mean, like, why on earth would we honor this at all? Secondly, it's like, are we really going to allow the French president to come in here and like stifle my right to speech? I think they want us to dismiss it.
So you're not going to try to have the case dismissed?
I certainly do not want to have the case dismissed.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I've never heard
so
that.
we're having.
Well, a little update on that case. There was an illegal filing, a sentence that said, click the subscribe button to this channel. The real update, Macron's to offer scientific evidence to U.S. court to prove Brigitte is a woman. No one's answered for me why we care. But she's gonna prove, which is, I feel really bad. Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte are planning to present photographic and scientific evidence to a U.S. court to prove Mrs. Macron is a woman. But how will they define a woman is the real question. Is she someone that can have a baby under certain circumstances and is smarter and makes Emmanuel's life a living hell, as Trump might word it? Their lawyer says the French president, Ms. Macron, will present the documentation and defamation suit they have taken against the right-wing influencer Candace Owens. Ms. Owens' lawyer have responded with a motion to dismiss the claim. And I saw, they're trying to get the case dismissed, but she said she wasn't going to in the clip that I just showed you because she wants to take it. She wants to take it to the end and use the discovery process to expose the Macrons. Now, you could say this is legal maneuvering because it's a lot about the venue and she still wants to go to trial, but she just is doing a little legal jujitsu. But it is fascinating after saying we're not going to get it dismissed, that's what the lawyers are trying to do. And it sounds like Brigitte has the smoking gun. To which Piers Morgan, who made a bet with Candace Owens, this is our politics now, that the French president's wife is a woman, said, get your checkbook ready, Candace. And the background on that shows up in this clip to Piers' credit.
All right, Candace, let me present another series of explanations for what's happened here. Sure. I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, all right? So let me put that caveat at the start here. Maybe you're right, okay? I don't think you are. I think you've been hoodwinked by these journalists who have gone on a complete fantasy trail of nonsense, trying to suggest Brigitte Macron never had.
So anyways, we don't have to get into the whole Brigitte Macron thing again, but they bet money, and now he's saying that he might be asking for that pretty soon, if indeed that reporting about her bringing forward scientific and photographic evidence, which is funny because I'm thinking, if someone said, are you a man? I'd be like, yeah, I so am. And then they were like, prove it. I'd obviously just drop my trousers. But then if they went, that's a fake one, it looks too good to be real. That must be artificial. No. That had to be manufactured somewhere. And then I would go, it so isn't. Pull on it. Like hair, like a wig. Pull on it. Tease it. See if it interacts like you are used to. And then if they went, that's just really advanced. And I went, okay, how else can I prove this to you? And they say, a DNA test. Okay, I'll do that. I guess that's a way you can do a DNA test, I think. And then even photographs. Show me a photograph. I have photos of me as a kid, but it's just kind of a weird prove it. And then having to gather proof. And I know whatever she brings forward is that was fabricated. That's not a real DNA test. They paid someone off. There's always going to be an answer. And it's not, this is not what Candace Owens is asking for, but it's not appropriate for Candace to examine herself. Like, she can't be the examiner. And so it's going to have to be a test of a doctor's word or a DNA test. I'm just picturing. Come on, play with it. See if that just keeps replaying. And then she's going to say the DNA test is fabricated or the doctor's lying. I feel like there's no out here. That's the annoying part about conspiracy theorists.